Hi, welcome to Intuitive Dawn, illuminating your day from within. I'm psychic medium Jamie Lynn, and today we're going to talk about receiving and receiving blessings from the universe, or receiving love, or things that you should be worthy of. So we're going to talk about that. And before we start, I just want to ask, and you can add in the comments, what do you want to receive? Do you want to receive love? Do you want to receive abundance? Do you want to receive self-confidence or worthiness? And the card I pulled, I'm going to go over an oracle card, but the card I pulled is called Receiving, Opening Yourself to Worthiness. And it's from the Creative Consciousness Healing deck by Joanna Wright. And I really like this deck a lot. I love the pictures. I love the cards, just really, really beautiful. I love the artwork. And so let's see what it has to say. And so receiving, the key concepts of this card is to allow, receive, and to be gentle with yourself. And the card says you don't have to be all the way healed to receive all the good things that you desire. Love, acceptance, satisfaction, abundance. All of those feelings are available to you now. This card comes to you with the message that it is okay to receive. You may have had beliefs that receiving is selfish, or it would make you too powerful. It is okay to embrace all of yourself and to allow the part of you that's willing to receive to be a part of your world. So you could do a creative visualization, as this card suggests. And here we go. We'll do an activity if you're able to do it. If you can't, you can come back to it and you can just listen. But it says to close your eyes and imagine that you are swimming in the most beautiful body of water. Imagine that the water is anything that you are hoping to receive more easily. Love, money, opportunities, ease, whatever it is. Feel what it's like to feel yourself filling up and receiving it easily. If that feels unsafe or uncomfortable to you, you can be near the body of water and touch it with your hands. Feel the water all around you. Allow your body to slowly become water. Feel as if you melt into the most beautiful water around you. Feel as you flow with the water, flowing wherever it takes you. Allow the water to become you. There is no separation. You easily embody all that the water represents to you. You have opened to the flow of receiving. Yeah, I like that. So you could do a journal prompt too about this. And she suggests try journaling with this experience. What does it feel like to be the thing that you would like to receive? If it's money, what does that feel like to flow with money? Write down all the images, songs, words, memories, thoughts, movies, or whatever comes to you during this exercise. They will help you align with the feelings and energy of what you are receiving. And I love this water exercise. It's really great. Yeah. So, like she said in the card, if you didn't want to be enveloped in the water, some people are afraid of water, you can just be on the shore and just touch the water with your hand or whatever, and whatever feels safe to you. You don't have to be enveloped in the water, but if you want to be enveloped in the water, you can. And water is very healing and cleansing for people. So I hope this exercise helped you and this card helped you. And so just write in the comments, what would you like to receive? Like I stated earlier, whether it's money, whether it's love, it could be peace. Could be peace. And yeah, I really like that. And what will you do to receive these things? Will you use meditation, positive affirmations? There's so much we can do to receive, and just be positive about it and let things flow into our lives, because we do deserve these things. And I think that sometimes we get caught up in, well, I could never have that much money, or gosh, that could never happen to me. Well, why not? Why do we have these limiting beliefs? You're just as good as anybody else, and you deserve just as much as anybody else does. So be open to receiving, and know that you are a treasure, and you deserve to receive blessings into your life. So the next thing I want to do is to read something from a really cool book called A Still Small Voice, A Psychic's Guide to Awakening Intuition by Echo Bodine. And I'm trying to see where it is. Oh, it's on page 103. And it's on chapter 6, and the chapter is called Universal Big Ben. Okay. And she says here, when you stop living by other people's voices and begin to get your guidance from the calm and clear voice of the universe, you begin to become aware of the magical flow at work with all the people you interact with. This is what she calls universal timing. It reminds her of traffic, that when everybody is honoring each other and paying attention to the signs, traffic flows. And that makes sense. So it is with living your true path, you constantly find synchronicity and coincidences happening. You find yourself in the right place at the right time, and over again. She likes to think of the flow as God's timing. As mind-boggling as it is to comprehend, the universe has an awareness of everything that's going on, and it can guide us accordingly. The process is mysterious and magical, and it involves divine energy. And there is a piece of God in each of us, and because of that, we are all connected to each other. The divine part of us runs on divine timing. When we are plugged into that divine energy, we operate in the perfect flow of timing. And here is a story that she's going to share that illustrates her point. Okay. And she says, a few years ago, she was trying to find her old friend, Mary. And she had edited her first book, Hands That Heal. She was finished with her second book at the time, and she needed an editor. So she called all the numbers that she had for Mary and found that she'd gotten married, moved, and had an unlisted number. So she asked the universe, please help me locate Mary. About a week later, on a Sunday morning, my inner voice told me to go to Lund's grocery store at noon. My logical mind jumped in and thought, noon on Sundays is a terrible time to go to Lund's. It's always crowded then. But her inner voice got a little louder. Lund's at noon. As much as I wanted to stay in my pajamas and take my time reading the Sunday paper, I got up and drove to the store at noon. When I walked into the store, I felt a strong inner nudge to go over to the dairy section. I had no idea why, because I didn't need any dairy items. I was simply following my inner prompting. I headed over to the dairy section and ran right into Mary. She said she'd been getting an inner nudge to call me for about a week, but hadn't gotten around to it, which affirmed to me that the universe had been trying to get us together. It's obvious to me from so many experiences like this that she's had, that there is a universal timing that knows everything. It knows if you're about to face a health challenge, if an unexpected guest will be visiting for a month, if your car is going to break down, if a death is going to occur in your life, if your pet is about to be sick, if your nephew is going to need to spend some quality time with you, if you're going to win the lottery, if your spouse is going to ask for a divorce, how's the weather going to be for your next special function, if you're going to write a bestseller, if and where you're going on vacation, and if you're going to fall in love and with whom, if you're going to get a raise, if you're going to lose your job, if you're moving, if you're dying, if you're going to patch things up with an old friend. It knows the right timing for phone calls and errands. If you're having heated discussions, it will guide you when to speak and when to be quiet. It will tell you when to plant your garden and when not to. We'd all do well to ignore the experts and go with the universe instead. And the more we are in touch with our own intuitive voice, the more in the flow we will be. I recommend that you check in with your intuition several times a day just to get in sync with timing. Several years ago, when it seemed like a perfect timing to plant my garden, my inner voice kept telling me no. I really struggled with whether or not I should listen to my inner voice or not. All of my neighbors were planting their gardens, and I kept wondering, why is it okay for them and not for me to plant my garden? As spring progressed into summer, we had gotten a terrible drought, and all of the neighbors lost their beautiful flowers they planted. And they tried watering them, but after a while, the city asked people to conserve water by not watering their yards. I walked around all summer, shaking my head in disbelief. I almost overrode its wisdom, but once again, my intuition knew what was coming. By turning into the Big Ben of the universe, you'll also know when to get to the post office, grocery store, bank, movie theater, bus stop, prescription, counter, dry cleaners, restaurant, and gas station when there's no waiting and no one in line. It's really very practical. Yesterday at the grocery store, the woman in front of me asked the clerk when they were going to get in more shrimp. After checking with the butcher, the clerk told her they would be unloading that shipment in about an hour. The lady asked if they could please unload it now so she didn't have to come back. But the clerk said no. They had to do things in a certain order, and she would just have to come back in an hour. We've all been there. I would bet you she'd gotten an intuitive nudge just before she left for the store, telling her not to go just then, and she ignored it because she heard this was the best or most convenient time to go. Divine timing can be helpful in so many ways. Maybe your inner voice is telling you to wait to go to the store because an item you want is about to go on sale. Maybe you're headed out to an appointment, but instead of leaving, you get a feeling to wait for a few minutes. Heed that feeling. The universe knows better than you do. Perhaps there's a 3-mile traffic jam, but it's about to clear. Maybe the universe is trying to prevent you from being in an accident. Maybe the person you're meeting is just about to call to cancel. And by listening to that voice, you'll save yourself an hour in the car. Listening to our intuition and being able to receive things, because, when we're open to receiving things, we can receive intuitive messages and thoughts. So I hope that helped you today, and you can find me on my website, psychicjamie.com, and maybe write in the description a time when you listened to your intuition and it helped you. I'd love to hear from you. So you can find me on the Electric Spirit podcast too. So until next time, thank you so much for tuning in and have a wonderful day.